So we are continuing day 2 of interpersonal communications, looking at the notes, and if we look at the answer, you guys are half right with what interpersonal communication is. Interpersonal communication can only, once again, only take place between two people. You have to, if it's more than two, it's small group communication. If it's just one, it's intrapersonal communication. So interpersonal communication is communication between two people. But I like that you guys at least remembered the number 2. We also covered yesterday the imagined interaction theory, which is the idea that we think about communicating before and after communication. So we re-script and pre-script conversations before we even have them, and we spend a lot of time thinking about what people have told us. And so that was the imagined interaction theory. We also talked about how interpersonal communication was impersonal, meaning that it's usually transactional, meaning that someone's going to get something out of it. And we're actually going to get more into that today. So before we actually get into the further notes, we have a new model to look at. This is the social penetration theory, which is the idea that as we get closer to people, as we figure out what they like and what they don't like, we get closer to understanding them, and we trust them with more topics and certain things. So let me kind of explain this. The slide's going to do a really good job, the next one, explaining the breadth and the width, but let me just explain it right now. So depth is how deep you get with that conversation. So we all know Mr. Smith likes music, right? So just knowing that I like music, that's a superficial understanding, right? If you find out more about my personal music taste, like for example, me learning, like if I said, oh, well, I really like hip hop and I really like R&B. More specifically, I like hip hop from like the 2010s. Then we're moving closer into the intimate level, and then from there, I'll be like, but my favorite artists like of all time are like really like Kid Cudi and like Childish Gambino and Eminem, because they like, I feel like they really run a good parallel between hip hop and also mental health and awareness and stuff like that. So that's how it gets closer to that. And then it's like, but when I listen to the song like Doctor Whoever, or when I listen to the song 3005, because it's not a happy song, it's actually a sad song. When I listen to those songs, it causes like this like really deep reaction with me. That's and the fact that I'm willing to share that with someone, that is me going all the way from the superficial level all the way down to the core level. Now that's just about one topic. If we can talk about a bunch of topics, that's the breadth. So the breadth, I drew that awkwardly. So the breadth is the range of topics. So we can go from music to media to politics to social stances to family to religion to any of those things. Like if you can talk to people about a lot of different things, that's a wide breadth, is what it's called. And if you can only talk to them about some topics, that's a small breadth. Okay, but based on how deep you can get with that conversation, that is basically the social penetration theory. Now, this works with people, but it also works with music, which we're going to see in today's assignment. But let's go to the next slide. So the social penetration theory is the process by which communication between persons or groups deepens through longer, closer, and more comfortable discussions. As someone said it perfectly in the warm-up, the only way to get closer to someone is with time and spent energy. So by doing that, you are hopefully moving from that intimate level into the from the superficial to the intimate to the personal to the core. Now, is everyone in your immediate like small circle of friends going to be all the way here at your core? Not necessarily. Usually, core is reserved for like people that you're married to, people that you are very, very close with, people that like literally understand like the process of your emotions and the mechanics of it. So usually most of our acquaintances that we like hang out with in class, they're like at the superficial level. Then when we decide to maybe friend them or maybe add them or follow them on Twitter or follow them on Instagram or whatever, then maybe we get closer to the intimate. Then when we get like closer to like talking to them and really understanding them, that's how we get into the personal. And then from there, if you decide to date them or you decide you're like my best friend, I can tell you anything, that is core right there at the middle. So the depth measures the degree of intimacy in communication, and the breadth measures the degree of range of information shared in the communication. So hopefully that makes sense. It even says peeling the onion like an ogre, which actually we'll play into another assignment later this week, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. So the social penetration theory talks about wide range of topics and how deep we can get with certain individuals. The last slide I want to talk about today is why we communicate. So, believe it or not, we actually do need to communicate with each other. We do it out of need. Um, we communicate to fulfill needs. Easy enough, right? So we communicate to fulfill attraction needs. Wait, Mr. Smith, I'm not attracted to everyone that I talk to. I understand that, but you are attracted to certain situations. So let me explain that. So however, there are people that are like, oh, that person looks good. They like not the like, oh, they're cute or oh, they're like they look like a nice person. I want to talk to them. So that is an easy way for you to kind of get your foot in the door and understand that you want to communicate with someone. So when you start to initiate communication with someone, it might be because of physical attraction or how they look. Next is situational attraction. This is attraction based on interaction in a specific event or setting. So, for example, you are communicating with me right now because I'm a teacher and you are a student and you want to understand this information better. So, it's very easy for you to be like, oh, well, I need to communicate to this because I'm attracted to this situation. If you need help copying the notes from someone, then you might talk to them because they have the notes. Uh, so that's the situational attraction. Talking to someone based on the situation that you're in. So far we have looks and the situation. And the last one is similar interests, enjoyment or engagement in or curiosity about similar things. I've ran the anime club for 6 years. That's some matchmaking happened. I didn't do anything. They just they were just there and they found love in a hopeless place. Not really. It was a hopeful place, but it was nice. And so like you're more likely to like athletes date other athletes. People that are in theater or choir they date other theater or choir people because of those interests. And you're more likely to talk to someone or even communicate with them because of those interest groups. At the very least, you have something in common. You're both in that same elective. So those are the notes for today. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me clear those drawings and we will continue the notes tomorrow.